It's time to live your stronger life. Hey, I'm Sammy, physio coach and nutritionist, and your hype girl for creating your stronger life. Here, we ditch the quick fixes and build real strength inside and out. So whether you're here to tone up, drop the body fat, build muscle, mental resilience, or ditch the diet culture, or just feel bloody good in your skin, you're in the right place. So let's get into it. Hey fam, welcome back. Today we are going to be tackling something that I know so many of you ladies struggle with. The urge to eat when stressed, anxious, bored, or also known as emotional eating. That urge to snack or grab comfort food when shit hits the fan, when you're stressed, anxious, bored, or lonely. And I'm going to talk you through how to recognize those triggers and build healthier coping strategies so that food becomes your fuel, not a fix for your emotions. And I do just kind of want to say one thing off the bat that might kind of piss you off a little bit to hear, but you need to learn to sit in your emotions. You need to learn to just sit in the shit. And emotions are valid. Emotions are part of life. You need to understand that it is normal to feel low and it is normal to feel happy. It's normal to have the positive and the negative emotions. All emotions are valid in life, and you need to learn to be able to just sit in it. They're going to come and go. It's like tides in the ocean, high tide, low tide. It's a part of life, and the biggest fix for emotional eating is learn to just sit in that discomfort. The reason why you reach for food is because you're trying to reach for dopamine and comfort, as opposed to just sitting in the emotions and really reflecting on them and working through them. You're just trying to cover it up with chocolate, with ice cream, with cookies, with whatever it is that makes you feel good. So step one, honestly, I'm going to give you more practical strategies than this, but one of the first things to consider is it is okay, and learn to just sit in it and embrace it, because it's just a part of life. But let me give you some practical steps, step by step. Step one, understanding emotional eating. So let's start here. Emotional eating is when we use food to cope with feelings rather than true hunger. And here's how to spot it. Physical hunger builds gradually. Emotional hunger comes on suddenly. Emotional hunger, you may crave very specific foods such as sugar, carbs, something rich, something that triggers your dopamine receptors. Sends out dopamine neurotransmitter, and the biggest one, you're not satisfied even after you've eaten. Sound familiar? You're not alone. A lot of ladies really, really struggle with emotional eating. And, there's different reasons for this as well. Sometimes, as a child, you go to the doctor, you get an injection, you're crying. What do you get? Oh, let's go out for ice cream afterwards. It's given to you as a self-soothing tool. Parents, oh, if you do this and you're good, we can go out and get this treat food. So you're constantly ingrained in you from a child that food is a reward for doing good behaviors, or food is a coping mechanism, or we use food to encourage you to do X, Y, and Z. And this is all ingrained in you from such a young age that it is understandable why you jump for food when you have emotional discomfort or when you want to do X, Y, Z. It's understandable because you've been taught that from such a young age. So if you're a parent, this is something that you need to potentially stop right now. Not using food as a tool to help soothe your children. If they're unwell and they go to the doctor and they get an injection, don't go get them ice cream, because that's just going to keep triggering when I'm emotional, when I'm sad, I have food that I enjoy, and it's just going to create quite a negative relationship with food. Yes, go out for ice cream for certain things, for, we just did this amazing adventure, and you know what, we're out and about. Why not let's get some ice cream? Make it a really positive experience, but not use it as a tool to soothe your children, because it's just going to create this same sort of emotional eating connection deep within their brain as a habit. It's formulating habits. Step 2, identify your triggers. So to make progress, first you need to know your triggers. You need to understand what's going on. You need to be aware before you can make any changes. So some common ones can include stress. Pressure can drive you to crave sugary or fatty foods as, again, comfort or quick energy fixes. Anxiety or sometimes can lead to mindless snacking and chewing because it helps to kind of distract you. Boredom, food becomes entertainment, not nourishment. And loneliness or sadness, food can stand in as a connection or comfort. So when you do notice a trigger to wanting to eat these particular comfort foods, pause and take a moment to reflect. And when did I eat emotionally, and what were the leading things that came up beforehand? What were the triggers? What was the mindset? What were my internal thoughts, and what were the actions? When you work your way back, so if you have an emotional eating experience, use it as a tool to reflect back. What were the triggers? What were the actions? What were the thoughts that were in my head? And what can I do to work my way backwards to try and prevent it from happening in the future? Or what can I implement for next time that's more of a positive solution? Maybe you go and you're like, I was really stressed and I was super rushed at work and I skipped lunch, and then I was really stressed because I got given this deadline, and because of that I skipped my lunch, and so I was super starving and hungry. So then when I got home I just raided the pantry. It's like, all right, well, I can now recognize all of these different steps ahead of time. It's like, no matter how busy I am at work, I need to make sure I just stop for 5 minutes and eat my food no matter what, because I know that it's going to actually give me more energy so I can perform better at work, so I'm not coming home and raiding the pantry. So when you reflect on what happened, you can come back and take action and make a change to help improve in the future. And when they do happen, it's okay. Use it as another tool to learn, to reflect, and then come back to it again. So every time you feel like, oh, I slipped up and I emotionally ate again, just use it as a tool to learn and to implement new strategies and to reflect, and you learn more about yourself internally. Step 3, develop healthier coping strategies. So now let's flip the script. Instead of turning to food, let's try other alternatives. So managing stress with deep breathing, led meditations, yoga, getting outside, going for a walk, using movement in any way, shape or form, going to the gym, things like that. Channel emotions into creativity, journaling, drawing, picking up a hobby, coloring in. When you have your creative brain switched on doing creative tasks, you actually decrease your anxiety. There is evidence supporting that. When you're using your creative part of your brain, the overthinking, the anxious side of your brain dials down because it's so busy focusing on the creativity side. So get creative and practice mindfulness. Slow down, notice your hunger cues, and listen into your intuition. Are you actually hungry, or is it an emotional experience? When's the last time I ate? Did I have a balanced meal last? Am I thirsty? Like, have a consideration about what's going on, because you could also just actually be hungry and ready for a proper meal, but you just are so hungry, then you grab it, the first thing that you can jump onto. So have a pause, reflect, and then get into it. And staying hydrated and fuel with nourishing meals to avoid the false hunger. Like if you're eating low protein, no wonder you're always jumping for more energy, quick fix carbs and things like that. Some other practical strategies to help break the cycle. So pause before eating, like unless it's like really, it is your meal times. But if you're just like wanting to eat consistently, it's like pause before eating and be like, am I truly hungry? When was the last time I had a proper meal? What did that proper meal consist of? Like, does it make sense that I'm super hungry right now? Does this serve me right now? Think about your hunger scale of 1 to 10, things like that. Think about when you ate last, what you had last. That's also going to be beneficial. Have a distraction list on your phone. Keep a list of activities that pull your focus away from food. And so if you're like, I really need something like, I need something tactile. Maybe it's like have a cup of tea, have a sugar-free soda. Like that can also give you a bit of a distraction, but can you do some distractions that are away from taste, away from using your taste sensations and your sensors in your tongue, for example? Out of sight, out of mind. Keep tempting food tucked away and make it really challenging to get to. I actually learned this one, or not learned, but I heard this one off Layne Norton, and I was like, this is a really good strategy, when he had a particular client who was really struggling with just overeating on like lollies all the time. So he got the client to put the lollies in a container, in another container, in another box with like a super annoying lock to open it, with a sticky note on top being like, are you actually really hungry? And then at the top of the cupboard, shut the cupboard, put a lock on the cupboard. Because this person kept like binging in the middle of the night, like just it was such a habit. He couldn't, almost like he was doing it in his sleep, sort of thing. But there are so many steps to get to those lollies that at some stage on that journey, he came out of his autopilot mode and his prefrontal cortex switched on, and he was into cognition mode. And he's like, bro, what am I doing? This is taking way too long. Like, I actually don't want these lollies. So often what happens is you're in this autopilot fight or flight mode where you just want something quick and, oh my God, quick, get in. You have that mindset, right? So if you can break the cycle by switching your prefrontal cortex on, by making it challenging to get to, it's out of mind, it's not as tempting, it takes a few tasks and a few steps for you to get the food product quite quickly, then that's going to break the cycle and you're like, oh, wait, what am I doing? Like it almost breaks you out of the, think about like breaking you out of a trance. You're like, wait, I don't actually want this. What am I doing? So out of sight, out of mind, make it challenging to get access to. Things like that can be really beneficial as well. And stock up on nourishing food options. Eat balanced meals. Plan your meals and eat regular balanced meals to prevent impulsive snacking, so you actually have balanced appetite and balanced energy levels consistently throughout the day. And seek support. Talk with your coach, talk with me, your therapist. Talk with me, or your therapist. I am not your therapist. Or a friend, family member when you're feeling overwhelmed. Don't be afraid to talk about it. And step 5, practice self-compassion. Here's the truth. Everyone emotionally eats time to time. It doesn't mean you're a failure. What matters most is what you do next. The key is to notice it, learn from it, and move on with self-kindness. Progress, not perfection. That is what it will count every single time. So I have this challenge for you this week, ladies. Identify 1 to 2 of your personal emotional eating triggers. Then I want you to choose 2 to 3 coping strategies that you can try that don't involve food. I also want you to practice mindful eating, slowing down, tasting your food, checking in with how it responds to your body. Really clue in. And then reflect at the end of the week. What worked? What didn't work as well? What can you adjust for next time? And be patient with yourself. Celebrate even the small wins. Every step you take builds resilience and a healthier relationship with food. It's not going to happen overnight, but with consistent practice, it's going to really happen, I promise. And then the worst part that you're going to hate me to say again is learn to sit in the shit. It's okay. Sit in the emotion. Have a cry. Have a scream. Whatever you need, but know that all emotions are valid and perfectly normal part of the human experience. If you were always happy 24/7, you wouldn't feel happy because that would be your norm. It is normal to feel sad. It is normal to feel anxious. It's normal to feel stressed. We need all of these emotions. And I'm going to get a little bit vulnerable with you here. For a very, very long time, probably nearly 10 years, I was on antidepressants and anti-anxiety medications because I have a lot of mental health conditions in my background, which right now I'm on no medications and I feel bloody fantastic. And because I've done the work with my therapist, with my psychologist, with my psychiatrist, I've done the work to be in a place where I don't need medication anymore, which I'm super stoked about. It was a very painful journey to wean off it all. But my point here is that during that time period of being on that medication, I did not realize how numbed out I was to emotions until I came off all the medications and I started having emotions. I'd be sitting hanging out with John and I'd be pissing myself laughing and I was like, holy crap, have you always been this funny? Oh my gosh. And I actually cried in movies. I always made a joke that I never cry in movies. I actually started crying in movies, where it was appropriate to cry in movies. And I was like, whoa, what is happening? I have emotions. I can feel this whole spectrum of emotions and it's amazing. Yeah, it's not fun sometimes, but it is amazing. Do not discount how awesome it is to actually be able to feel all the ranges of emotions that are a part of the human experience, because without the highs, we can't have the lows. Without the lows, we can't have the highs. It's the same as the tide. It's the same as the sunrise and the sunset. All the phases are important in life. So you really don't want to take for granted the emotions, and you build so much mental resilience when you learn how to sit in them and embrace them all and work through them no matter what. So hopefully, I really hope this episode has helped, and I hope you get some practical strategies out of this that you can actually help to work through your emotional eating. But the biggest thing is do the steps, do the reflection piece, work out your triggers, problem solve and brainstorm some ideas for how you can strategize it for the future, and keep working on it. Don't give up on yourself and sit in the shit. That's my other one. All right, fam, I hope that was helpful. Let me know. As always, share it on your Instagram story, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Thanks so much for listening. If you found this episode valuable, please rate, review, and subscribe. And I'd love if you shared this on your Instagram and tag me, Sammy_Livestrong. And if you'd like to learn more about my coaching and join the Project Livestrong family, please message me, Livestrong, on Instagram, and I'll see how I can help. I'll see you next time.